Good morning, everyone. Very happy to be here to share about how we are enabling AI for the Singapore digital government. And I think you need no convincing that AI holds vast potential and we really have to fully embrace it. So I'll try to share how we are doing so in 4 parts to my presentation. I think first I'd like to share maybe 3 more additional examples of how AI can be used for value. And this is not just everything Gen AI, is maybe the traditional AI. I wanted to show that we are doing AI even before this ChatGPT came along. So how AI can be used in terms of helping our government services to be a lot more convenient, more accessible, and more personalized. And of course, I'll try to also add in some flavor of what Gen AI developments could potentially help in some of these examples. I think last year I mentioned about our AI-powered One Service chatbot, where citizens can easily report municipal issues on the go via WhatsApp or Telegram. If you are not familiar, you can actually scan the QR code for the WhatsApp code. I just tried this last week when one of my lifts broke down, and they managed to get back to me within 2 working days. So very, very convenient. And under the hood, we use AI to really auto-predict case category, the case details, and then auto-route to the respective agency in charge. And this could be comprising over 17 different town councils and 10 government agencies that may actually be involved. So hopefully the chatbot makes the conversation a lot more natural and intuitive for our citizens. And I think in terms of impact, clear benefits, as shown here. And in terms of Gen AI, as what SMS had briefly alluded to, we're also testing out GPT-4's multi-modal capabilities. And just from the image itself, you can tell that the GPT-4 understands the scene, can describe it in detail, and also possibly identify the issues. So our team is still testing and playing around with to understand its accuracy. But I would imagine as AI technology improves, it really opens up a whole new world of possibilities. And maybe citizens can just submit one image and then that's even more convenient and intuitive. We're also putting AI to good use in the domain of healthcare, and I would just like to show one of many examples that we're actually doing. I think you would realize that dementia is actually a significant problem for an aging population like Singapore, and if we can detect it early, there can be actually good interventions prior. So, but it's actually not so easy because the current healthcare workflow is a bit more reactive. You need to maybe get a sense, hey, something is wrong, then you're going to look at a GP, get a specialist referral, visit a trained psychiatrist, go through 30 minutes of testing, okay? And sometimes it requires some literacy skills that not all the seniors may actually have. So what we did was really to partner Singapore General Hospital, and we came out with a simple drawing app. This can be administered on a tablet by untrained layperson like the caregiver, the community helper, and done within 5 minutes. So they just, okay, this is probably oversimplifying it, and but they get to draw certain images, including of a clock, and I think how they draw it actually makes a difference. So we already had more than 1,000 seniors try this out in the past year, and even in this development phase, right, the test results are quite promising. You can actually try at our product booth behind after this, and we hope that after more detailed testing as well as evaluation, AI can allow this particular healthcare screening to really be a lot more accessible to the seniors that actually need it the most. In terms of Gen AI, we're also trying to replicate these instruction videos in different languages. So maybe just caveat, this is all experimental for now, but let me just
ஹாய்
play.
இது ஒரு குறுகிய நினைவக சோதனை இது முடிக்க 5 நிமிடங்கள் ஆகும் நாங்கள் தொடங்குவதற்கு முன் உங்களுக்கு வழங்கப்பட்ட பேனாவை எடுத்துக்கொள்ளுங்கள்
That's
Hai,
Tamil.
呢個係一個簡短嘅記憶力測試，要5分鐘先可以完成。喺我哋開始之前，唔該攞起。
And that's Cantonese. So just giving a sense of, you know, it can be a lot more accessible to our public, I mean, in terms of distributing instruction videos. So also next, moving on, third use case, right? With AI, I think our services can be a lot more personalized. Jumpstart is really our job skills AI platform powering our job search recommendations or My Careers Future, which is our government portal. And we leverage collaborative filtering techniques very similar to how Netflix recommendation does. We look at the user's clickstream data, look at the user's skills profile, and then make similar job recommendations to people like him or her. Very happy to say that today, every week, we're already serving more than 33,000 job applicants, help make over 200,000 applications itself. And over the past year, our Jumpstart team had also worked with Workforce Singapore to be able to beta launch the Careers Finder feature earlier this month. So what we do is we actually extract the user profile preferences from a simple career quiz, and then we leverage over 10 different AI models end-to-end in different ways to try to help improve the job matching, as well as to allow citizens to better plan what next steps they may want to take. So if you look at the occupational recommender, we also look at possible moves into adjacency occupations. As you see the jobs or the occupations are slightly different from one another in order to open up minds on what are potential adjacent occupations that the citizen may want to consider. And to do this, Careers Finder leverages more data. We look at skills adjacency. We also look at actual job transitions or occupation transitions based on, for example, our occupational employment survey data set. So we will continue to enhance this over time and as we collect more data so that it can be more responsive to the job seeker needs as well. Okay, this is a complicated slide. I won't go through in detail, but I think the simple point to take away is that for AI to work well, the data and the ML operations part is incredibly important. Okay, the blue and the purple. So if you want to find out more about our data and AI stack under the hood, stay for the deep dive in the afternoon session by the Jumpstart team. So we must really continue to harness all the good value in terms of the use cases of AI. But I think to do so, the second thing we need to do is really be able to innovate and experiment fast, because Gen AI is really fast developing. And if you note, a couple of months ago, right, when the plugins came out, everybody was very excited. And what our team did then was, once we were given developer access through our OpenAI partnership, our forward deployed team at SkillsFuture Singapore quickly latched on to try to experiment in this plugin space. So let me share a quick demo of what is the plugin that they actually did. So this is the National Job Skills Intelligence Beta plugin. Helps users identify relevant skills insights as they look at possible career trajectory. NGSI Beta, National Job Skills Intelligence. And then in this case, the accountant trying to consider a data scientist role understands the required skills to do so. And subsequently can consider actually what are the training courses required for those skills. And then a set of recommendations come up. This is linked to our SkillsFuture course database. It's hyperlinked, can click so that the citizens know what needs to do. This is already available on the ChatGPT plugin store. We published it last month. You can go and try out for those with Plus accounts. But this only gives us a representation of the possibilities behind what we can actually do. Okay, whether it's ChatGPT as the conversation layer or our own application. So a key innovation in the example I showed was really the integration of ChatGPT with a more comprehensive knowledge base, or in this case, the knowledge graph. So the JSKG, which is what we did, was developed internally by our team, and the knowledge graph combines both the expert-driven skills framework taxonomy as well as the dynamic insights, where the team actually applied advanced analytics to pass through close to 700,000 job postings, analyze the skill counts, analyze the potential salary ranges. So in this way, we have a much more dynamic and data-driven way to try to identify the relevant updated skills at scale. So you will also know that ChatGPT's plugin knowledge is only like up to September 2021, right? So the plugin actually allows ChatGPT to call external APIs to gain updated information. So this was good in terms of assessing the knowledge graph. But what our team found useful was that it was quite convenient to use the conversational chat to try to distill and present the knowledge graph insights that the team actually had. We also added other, for example, the semantic course search APIs into the plugin to try to enrich the user engagement journey, because now you can understand what is the set of courses that we have in the SkillsFuture database. So this innovative use of both the conversational chat as well as the knowledge graph really demonstrated how we can leverage data and AI to have better insights and user tools in the career domain. And then the team got inspired, and now the team is also considering, okay, building and trying to develop a career planning chat assistant to augment both the citizens, the career coaches. You have good planning advice, you have related job info, is always available. Okay, and then it's data driven because you can look at some of our knowledge graph and internal database plus the recommendation APIs from Jumpstart itself. And then hopefully it's also empathetic and encouraging. We can try to prompt engineer that persona in consistently. So wanted to caveat that these are all very experimental and pilot in nature. So the team is trying our hardest to make it happen together with the business stakeholders. I think through this pilot journey, there are three key important factors over the last couple of months that we wanted to emphasize. I think first, getting the foundation right is incredibly important. I think the data and the API side of the house. For us, we were able to move fast. The team was able to move fast and get the plugins out in 2 to 3 weeks simply because they were already working on the knowledge graph. So the data was of good quality, and then it was also API ready, so it could be easily accessed by the AI models. So moving forward, we need to think through for government knowledge bases, how to also apply it in the same way so that high quality data is also accessible by our AI models. I think second was about business tech understanding. We had this LM tech discovery workshop with our key business stakeholders, and this included directors from Ministry of Manpower, Workforce Singapore, Skills Future Singapore, where we actually sat down, they better understood LM technology, and we also discovered good use cases. And that was important because it then allowed the team to be able to rapidly prototype something that's useful, put it in the hands of users, try out, get some feedback, and then be able to refine our business hypothesis. And because the business stakeholder could see the tool in action, right, it also allowed us to better visualize the possibilities of what could happen. And finally, really is the speed of innovation and experimentation. I think both the business stakeholders as well as the teams were all prepared to come together and try and experiment, time box it to 1 to 2 week sprints. Okay, so moving on from innovation experimentation, I think is really about the third part of central tools and support to best enable AI to flourish. We spoke about innovation, but innovation doesn't just happen like that. I think it's really the product of an environment where that actually encourages ideation, experimentation, and prototyping. So this is exactly for this reason that internally we developed Launchpad. We envision Launchpad to be a whole of government AI innovation platform that exactly allows users to be able to ideate, experiment, and prototype, and hopefully get a sense of AI in action. So let's check it out and start our journey with a quick video demo.
Officers can easily submit their own ideas via the platform and share their ideas with the rest of the public service. In the first 12 weeks alone, I did download over 180 ideas on GenAI, giving us valuable insights into common use case archetypes in pushing the boundaries of what's possible. For example, one proposed idea is that of a testimonial generator to assist teachers and lecturers in crafting testimonials for their students, which we prototyped. Teachers can follow the UI-guided app to easily generate a first draft of the testimonial for further edits. The testimonial generator prototype can be found in the gallery, along with other prototype apps. The hub contains other central tools we have, like GovText, Video Analytics System in analytics.gov. And finally, playbooks, knowledge repositories, and video replays of our past events on data science and AI. Launchpad Assistant is where public officers can experiment with prompts and temperature settings using different large language models that are served out via what we call AI bots. It encourages our public officers to experiment with various AI models to see which works better for them. But out-of-the-box LLMs can only go so far. What you see here is the OpenAI bot, which is being asked how many days of MC you can take. You clearly won't know. We are working on the concept of an AI bot with memory and personality, where you can teach it to output responses closer to what you would have wanted. See Heritage our bot in action here, and the results it returns are spot on.
Okay, this is just fictitious data. So I just wanted to call out that Launchpad beta is also out with a few thousand users, and will progressively also scale this for agency adoption. And to call out here that data security is actually paramount and important to facilitate the speed of innovation. So whatever SMS mentioned in terms of the heightened security measures with Microsoft Azure, OpenAI, I think those are exactly the kind of technical requirements supporting Launchpad as well. So beyond whatever is the video demo I shared, right, I think it's important to have application and prototypes and use cases, because I think use cases are most important. So let me share an example of a prototype use case which we had partner MSF's transformation division on. Every year, you would have MSF public officers who work on tens of thousands of reports. These are the social reports. And each report, depending on the complexity, could take up to an hour or more, and sometimes the consistency of the quality may vary. So the prototype basically leverages GPT-4 to try to convert what are verbatim raw case notes from the officer into structured template reports. And success would mean consistent quality and time savings for the public officer, okay, allowing them to actually spend more time on client interventions rather than drafting up reports. So we pay close attention to the data security side of the house as well. So when it comes to personal information, there's redaction, just to make sure that the client's information is actually protected. And we will work with various agencies that may have similar use cases to help them proliferate this as well. So we want to, I mean, moving beyond just the LM Launchpad, I think you would also note that Launchpad has also other AI tools, in this case on the video analytics side of the house. So you want these central AI tools to be accessible, not just for the technical experts, the data scientists, but also for the power business users. So for example, we have our whole government video analytics system, which makes it easy for agency users to be able to actually annotate, label, train, test, and deploy their own VA models through Video I/O. So in this case, we have PUB silt imagery detection system, which currently use AI to detect silty discharges from construction sites. PUB is also using Video I/O to try to enhance the existing AI models to improve the accuracy of detecting these silty discharges. And to further support more advanced users, we also have analytics.gov, which is our central data analytics platform. So this will contain various tools for secure data exploitation, including with R, Python, Jupyter notebooks. And we are taking a step further by integrating ML operations capabilities into the platform, enabling agencies to be able to develop, deploy, and actually monitor production-grade machine learning models at scale. And this feature will be available next month. You can actually hear more about our central tools later this afternoon. Especially watch out for GovText, our text analytics platform, and hear more about their LM experimentation as well. Okay, finally, last but not least, our people. Just now you have noticed the demo Launchpad Hub. It hosts various DSAI programs as well as playbooks to support agencies' broad-based capability development efforts. So this includes all the resources shown here on the slide, and also new additions as well. For example, we have newly added GenAI materials into our ePrimer modules, as SMS has mentioned. And module 1 is out, is progressively, the rest will be available from this month onwards. We also have our own curated prompt engineering playbook and on Launchpad. And we have partnered agencies like Civil Service College, who will be launching their prompt engineering course with the first run for public officers starting next month. And of course, there are many of these training resources that we create with the industry and training providers and our own digital academy, because we really want to accompany the agencies and AI office, the agencies and the public officers in their AI journey. We think prompt engineering will become an essential competency. Okay, so this we're thinking through how to really have a holistic competency framework for it, but this is still works in progress. what levels of prompt engineering skills are required for the intermediate, for the advanced side of the house. But I wanted to call our inaugural prompt engineering competition. This will happen as part of our annual data arcade tournament, which has been happening for the last 5 years. So for public officers, stay tuned for an exciting finale in November this year. But for people who are not in the public service, I think it's also okay. In the afternoon, stay tuned for my Deputy Director, Joseph, is sharing some of these implementation details, because we think it's important. We don't just open source software, but I think we're trying to open source the peopleware side of the house. So some of these details around culture building activities, you can actually find on our developers portal, and hopefully non-public service organizations will also find it useful. Okay, this is, I think, last 2 slides. Quite happy to share another prototype that was birthed in an internal hackathon last month. So in the spirit of trying to leverage AI to contribute to important stuff like sustainability in this case, one team together with EMA used document-grounded generation to try to develop a solar chatbot that can answer all public queries or anything regarding solar energy in Singapore. So for now, it's solar energy, but I think it has possibilities to do a lot more. And we hope to be able to ultimately facilitate solar adoption in Singapore, as members of public can more easily find answers to their questions. Now, say hackathons are quite useful platforms for our public officers to hack for public good. And we look forward to also potential opportunities with the industry to organize more of such events with interested agencies. So to conclude, I would say the AI wave really has huge potential to deliver significant value, and we really need to embrace it. And then second is really the speed of innovation and experimentation. And we want to support our public officers with the necessary central tools and infra. And ultimately invest in our people, because they are the ones who drive this whole AI transformation forward, so that we can really bring the benefits of AI into our public service. So I end off with this slide because I think it's quite a cool depiction of, hopefully, our digital government public officer. With that, thank you and enjoy the rest of STACKx today.